kids.
Hi, Bobby.
What are you doing here? It's not Saturday, is it?
No, we're reading about bald eagles.
Our new project in the Habitat Club is to help you find a new home for Pearl.
Yeah,
Really?
we need to know more about her habitat so we can make a list of things she'll need. Here's what we have so far. What do you think, Bobby?
Well, let's see. You have the 4 things that every animal needs to have a good habitat: food, water, shelter, and space. And under food, you have fish and ducks. Under water, clean and unpolluted. Tall trees for shelter and a lot of space. Great. Looks like you've got a good start on this.
What? You mean there's more?
Well, you have all the most important basics, but you can add a few things. Like under food, you want to add some dead animals, because when they can't find fish, an eagle will eat animals that have already died. That's why they're called scavengers, because they eat dead animals too, especially in the winter when the live fish are harder to find. But most of the time they eat fish.
What about water? Anything else besides clean and unpolluted?
Well, in your studies, did you happen to come across anything about pollutions that will kill eagles?
Yeah, we learned about DDT. DDT is a poison. That's why there aren't that many bald eagles left, because DDT got in the water that fish lived in. You see, when a mother eagle ate a fish that was poisoned by DDT, the eggs in her nest would crack before they were ready to be born. Without babies, there weren't as many eagles. Now, the use of DDT is against the law in the United States.
That's right. And what about another poison that kills bald eagles and is against the law too?
I know. Over 100 bald eagles have died from lead poisoning. Now it's against the law for duck hunters to use lead shot in their gun. Because if an eagle eats an animal that ate a lead pellet, then the lead poisons and kills the eagle.
That's right. And there's another kind of pollution that's especially dangerous for bald eagles. Do you know what that is, Tammy?
Acid rain. It turns lakes into vinegar and kills all the fish.
That's right. And what happens is the smoke from a smokestack in a factory pollutes the air. And then when it rains, the water in the lakes will turn into a vinegar-like substance and kills millions of fish. And when there aren't any fish left in an eagle's habitat, she needs to go somewhere else to find a home.
Okay, got it. Under shelter, we have tall trees. How tall do they have to be exactly?
Very tall. They're about 100 feet from the ground up. That's the size of a 10-story building. She'll pick the tallest tree that sticks out way above all the other trees in the forest to build her nest and raise her babies. And sometimes the nests get very, very big.
Yeah, we read about one that weighed 2 tons and it was as big as a car.
That's right. And the reason they get so big is because an eagle will return to the same nest every spring and just keep adding more and more materials to it. And in the winter, when the weather gets bad, they need to find shelter in trees and wooded areas away from the wind. And another reason they need tall trees is to use it as a lookout spot and a place to rest. And another thing you might want to put under shelter is peace and quiet. Because an eagle won't make a nest or raise its babies if it's too noisy or too close to people. They're very private.
Well, under space we just have a lot. How much space do we need exactly?
Well, you need enough space so that the eagle can travel and find food safely. And also so it doesn't feel crowded by people.
And not get shot by some irresponsible person.
And remember that an eagle will travel hundreds of miles in the winter looking for its fish, and then return to its nest in the spring. So not only do you need to find space that's safe around the nest, but it also needs to be safe for where it travels in the winter, too.
Good night. That's a lot of space. Where will we ever find that much space?
And enough fish, clean water, tall trees, and peace and quiet.
And a place where we know she'll be safe and not get shot again.
I remember last year some people came and talked to our science class about safe places for endangered species. They don't keep the animals in cages, they just let them roam free, but they watch them to make sure that they're safe and protected.
Was it called a wildlife refuge by any chance?
That's it. They have them all over the United States, right?
That's right. We've got several in this state, too. Many of them were established as protection for endangered species like pearl. me show you a map. These are all the wildlife refuges in the United States. There's over 440 of them all across the country.
Wow! Look how many refuges there are in Alaska.
That's the place where you said they had lots of bald eagles.
That's right. But I think it's a little too far for us to travel and release Pearl. How about this one? It's close to us. Well, yeah, but that's not a national wildlife refuge. It's a state wildlife area.
But Bobby, the question is, does it have the right habitat for Pearl?
Well, I suppose we could go there and find out. Do you have time right now?
Yeah.
Shall we do it?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me go make a phone call and let them know that we're coming. Okay?
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Hi,
Hi.
how you doing?
These are my friends, Winston, Tammy, and Heather.
How you doing?
Good, how about yourself?
I know you, Mr. Kanishi. I talked to you on the telephone, remember, about a baby robin?
Oh yeah, how did everything turn out?
We set him free 2 weeks ago.
I'm glad to hear that. What brings you out here today?
Well, it's about our bald eagle Pearl we've been rehabilitating. We thought maybe your state wildlife area would be a good place to release her. She's about ready.
We were wondering if you had any bald eagles out here already.
Yeah, we had 2 pairs of bald eagles that nested on a refuge every spring. We even had 4 babies that hatched.
Do they still come back here? Bald eagles return to the same nest every year.
No, unfortunately, they haven't been to this refuge for 2 years. We have lots of other kinds of wildlife, but no bald eagles this year.
Maybe there's something wrong with the habitat here.
Yeah. Here's a list of what bald eagles need. Does your refuge have all these things?
Well, we have a lot of fish and other things for the eagles to eat, so that's not why they disappeared.
What about your water? Does it have DDT, lead poisoning, or acid rain in it?
No, we haven't had any traces of DDT in this refuge for years, and we don't allow the hunters to utilize lead shot in their guns. And luckily, acid rain isn't a problem here yet. I think the problem with our habitat is right over here.
You mean shelter? You have tall trees, right?
That's not exactly what I meant. Come on, let's go. I'll show you what the problem is.
Should we take my truck?
That sounds good. Let's go.
Hop in.
You see, on this side of the reservoir, where we're standing now, is a refuge. We'll always have the tall trees and the wetlands for the ducks and the geese. There's a flock of Canada geese right now. But that side of the reservoir doesn't belong to the state wildlife area. They used to have a lot of tall trees and wetlands on that side of the reservoir too. But about 2 years ago, about the time that the eagles left, they started taking down all the trees, built all those houses and the shopping mall. Without the trees and because of all the people, I'm afraid the eagles decided to go somewhere else.
I don't blame them for leaving. It's much too noisy.
Gosh, we hoped this would be the right home for Pearl, but she needs peace and quiet to raise her babies.
What are we going to do?
Don't worry, Tammy. We'll keep looking until we find a place for her. The right place.
I wonder where the eagles went when they left this place.
If we knew that, then maybe, just maybe we can find a home for Pearl too.
I think I might be able to help you answer that question, Heather.
Really, Mr. Kanishi? You know where they went? How?
We track them with radios. You see, since bald eagles are an endangered species, we try to gather as much information as we can to learn more about them. So when they're on the refuge, we capture them, put radio transmitters on them, we release them, and then we follow the radio signals to see where they go.
So by radio, you know where the eagles are now?
Well, I can tell you that the last time that we checked, which was about a month ago, we picked up the signal from the male bald eagle. He's living on a national wildlife refuge just about 50 miles north of here. If you have time, I can get the radio and we can go up there and see if we can pick up his signal.
That would be great. Can we go? Can we go?
Of course, we can go.
Right. Cool.
Wow, what are they? They're beautiful.
Those are teal. Now, they come here every year about this time. They like habitat like this with all the wetlands, and because they like to eat on the wild rice that they grow here.
Hey, it's beeping. Cool.
What does that mean?
It means we're very lucky, and we may have found the male bald eagle. Let's go down by the river and take a look.
Just the male? What about the other? Where is she?
Come on, Tammy.
Wow, you guys, look at all the fishermen down there. That means there's definitely enough fish here for the eagles to eat.
Oh, yes. The river's full of carp and suckers and other kinds of fish that eagles love.
Hey, the beeping's getting louder. We must be getting closer.
Look, there he is. You see him way up there in those tall trees?
Good night. Get a look at that nest. It must be as big as a Volkswagen.
If that's the father, I wonder where the mother is.
If it's nesting, it must be quite enough for him here. And we know there's enough fish. What about pollution in the water, Mr. Kanishi?
Well, I think there's no problem with DDT or acid rain here. And there's no problems with lead poisoning because they don't allow hunters to use lead shot in their guns.
For shelter, the trees are definitely tall enough.
What about space?
Yeah, when the eagles leave the refuge in the winter, where will they go? And can they get there and back again safely?
Well, that'll be hard to predict, Winston. But I can tell you that when they do fly south from here, there are a lot of other refuges for them to stop to eat and rest. And anyone who tries to bother a bald eagle will be arrested. So they should be pretty safe.
Sounds like a pretty good home for Pearl to me.
You mean we found a home for Pearl?
Maybe. Do you think we could come back here Saturday and release her right here on the refuge?
Well, I need to call the wildlife refuge manager and make the arrangements and call you if it's okay. But I think it's safe to say that you've probably finally found a home for your Pearl.
All right.
All right.
How you doing?
Hi.
How you doing today?
Good.
Just fine. So this is Pearl, eh?
Yep, here she is. Isn't she beautiful?
Hi, Pearl. You're going to be one lucky bird today. I'd like for you all to meet Carol. Carol is a researcher from the university who does work with the bald eagles.
Hi, Carol. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet all of you. Can I take a look? Hi, girl. Nice to see you again.
Again? You mean you already know Pearl?
Yes, I met her here on the refuge 2 years ago.
You mean this is where Pearl came from? This is where she always lived?
It's always good to release eagles in their original home, if you can.
Then that was Pearl's nest we saw. And that was her husband we followed on the radio, right, Bobby?
I guess so. Well, are we ready to let her go?
Would you like to say goodbye to her?
Bye, Pearl. Good luck, girl.
We'll be watching out for you.
She looks strong. Both of her wings look great. I think Pearl's gonna be fine here. Just fine.
Thank you.